Developing now a new era for Amazon. The company transformed downtown Seattle, growing it into a $1 trillion global empire. Now it's preparing for a major shakeup in its leadership. Founder and CEO Jeff Bezos will step down and hand the torch to Andy Jassy, who runs Amazon's web services. And tonight, we're looking at the future for one of the most powerful companies in the world. And Mary, the stakes are huge for our region and our state.
Absolutely, Preston. Amazon surpassed Boeing as the largest employer in Washington. Right now, the company employs 80,000 people in our state, 75,000 right here in the Puget Sound region, with plans to add 15,000 new jobs in Bellevue and a new Amazon Web Services office in Redmond. KOMO's Joel Marino's live with the next moves for this monolith and what it could mean for the Pacific Northwest. Joel?
Mary and Preston, this really is the most radical change Amazon has ever seen in its leadership ranks at this sprawling campus. Now, analysts say it should continue the company's astounding job growth and keep a laser focus on customer service. From upstart online bookseller, Amazon grew into a seemingly endless online marketplace, then became dominant in cloud computing services. All of it with Jeff Bezos at the helm.
You can't undersell how big of a news this really is, and the fact that such a visionary, innovative leader is stepping down at the height of his company's growth.
UW business professor Jeffrey Shulman says putting cloud computing guru Andy Jassy in charge will likely build on these past successes.
To understand Andy Jassy's role, he took an idea and turned it into a multi-billion-dollar business of Amazon that's really driven a lot of its profit growth.
Jassy has built strong ties to the Pacific Northwest, and the region is likely to continue to benefit through ongoing expansion and job growth at Amazon. However, Amazon's accomplishments have also been seen as a threat. Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal says regulators need to rein in anti-competitive behavior and monopolistic practices. That is the only way the very innovation that allowed Amazon to thrive can be preserved for our region. Analysts say whatever changes come to Amazon, the corporate culture will almost certainly remain customer-centric.
From the customer perspective, I don't think there'll be much change. Amazon is very focused on serving the customer.
Well, according to the announcement, Jassy will take command of Amazon in July, and Bezos will slide over to become executive chair. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Joel. In an email to employees, Bezos says he plans to stay engaged in Amazon initiatives, but will also have the time and energy to focus on his Day One Fund, the Bezos Earth Fund, Blue Origin, and the Washington Post, and his other passions.
Bezos made the announcement today as his company reported a record profit in the fourth quarter of 2020. Amazon brought in $125 billion in revenue, surpassing expectations and crossing the $100 billion mark for the first time. Fourth quarter earnings per share, $14.09, more than twice what analysts expected. The company is one of the most valuable in the world. It's worth nearly $1.7 trillion. Our morning team will be watching to see the impact on stocks when the market opens. News of the shakeup came after closing bell today. Shares rose $37 or 1%, closing at $3,380 a share.
Seattle Mayor Jenny Durkan says their search for a new police chief is further delayed.
There's no search planned at this moment in time.
Adrian Diaz took over for Carmen Best after she suddenly retired amid the defunding budget battle.
The plan was to hire a new police chief after the budget cycle and in the new year. Now the mayor tells me they could wait until potentially after she leaves office.
I'm continuing to have conversations with the city council on that. I think that everyone's evaluation right now is that a chief search would not be successful. And it's an important enough thing, and we are at such a critical juncture with our police department. We want to make sure that when we do it right, and we do it successfully.
Durkan's last day as mayor is December 31st. Who will replace her? The list is growing, with 6 names now registered on the city's election website. Sources inside City Hall tell me City Council President Lorena Gonzalez will likely join this list.
Do you think the next mayor could come from City Hall?
I think that voters will make a very different calculation in this election than before. I think that bumper stickers and slogans are not going to cut it.
Durkan said when focusing on the future, many voters may look to the past, searching for answers to lingering questions Seattle labored through this summer.
And they're going to want concrete answers on things like, will you cut the police by 50%? Will you make sure there's more mental health care providers? What are you going to do about the crime rates? Because when people come out of COVID, it's going to be real.
In Seattle, Patrick Quinn, KOMO News.
Well, you may recall that grocery workers received hero pay or hazard pay last year during the pandemic, but that expired. Today, grocery workers tell me that this pay boost is something they need and deserve.
We're really grateful, and it's really necessary.
Maggie Brashears works for Fred Meyer's grocery store in Seattle, but out of concern about COVID-19, she's currently on leave.
It's scary. My husband is high risk, and my son is high risk as well. And I'm just terrified that, one day at work, 1 6-hour shift will be the thing I regret the most.
She really appreciates that Seattle City Council and the mayor have approved a $4 an hour pay boost for grocery store workers in the city.
Grocery store workers are out there, and they're putting their lives and the safety of their family members on the line in order to keep the food supply going. Additional compensation when these grocery stores are pulling in record profits is not an unreasonable request.
I don't really want to be there right now.
Carmelita Newmanop works for a grocery store in Mill Creek. She wishes she could get the so-called hazard pay. She's working only 20 hours a week for her own safety. She hopes other cities and grocery stores will implement the pay boost.
Since they don't give her many hours, it would help with that too. So help and pay.
KOMO News checked in with the Northwest Grocery Association, which represents hundreds of major grocery stores that'll be impacted by the city mandate. Stores like KFC, Fred Meyer, Safeway. The mandate affects any grocery store with more than 500 employees.
How will this impact grocery stores? How will this impact customers?
I don't know if it will impact customers as much on the initial, but certainly for grocery stores, it is a significant cost increase at a time, especially for your smaller grocery stores. They don't earn the huge profits that folks who Google grocery stores see.
Hi, everyone. I'm Preston Phillips from KOMO News. Thanks for checking out the KOMO YouTube channel. You can see more of our videos right here by clicking on the video links for more news from the Seattle area and Western Washington. Oh, and don't forget to click the subscribe button below so you don't miss our YouTube updates.